Back here with more Week 7 action as the XLB rolls along with the St. Paul Purple Rain taking on the Buffalo Bad Boys. And in this one, this is a matchup of two teams who are both 3-2 in the season. So, you know, I mentioned it in Week 6 a few times. You play every team once in this league. So these head-to-head games where it's close like this, that's basically a 2-game advantage that you take over your opponent. So a big game here between these two teams in the seeds for the postseason right now. Buffalo is ranked ahead of St. Paul. Obviously, that's going to change as this goes on, but those two teams ranked 7th and 9th in the standings right now. So someone about to take a step out and someone about to take a step back. The legends for the St. Paul Purple Rain include King Griffey Jr. and Alex Rodriguez, and the legends for the Buffalo Bad Boys include George Brett and Kenny Lofton. Pitchers for this one today are Zack Wheeler on the mound for the Purple Rain from the Philadelphia Phillies, and Paul Skenes, recently traded to the Buffalo Bad Boys from the Toledo Terminators, as we tried to move some pitchers around to make it a little more balanced and make sure that one team wasn't getting screwed over. It's one of those things, too, where it's like my brother and I kind of figured out how PB works and how the numbers work. And so initially, you know, we divvied up the players by fantasy points, and that didn't exactly lend itself to the most fair. So once we got the numbers figured out, we decided to go ahead and make some trades to kind of even things up. So that's why you're seeing Skenes on the Bad Boys instead of the Terminators here. George Springer set to lead off. Actually, let's take a look at the stats between these two teams. I worked on it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it.
Good job.
Thank you. As both these teams kind of near the top in as far as pitching goes. Neither one of these teams gives up a lot of home runs. Neither one has given up a lot of runs, to be honest. You know, just 23 runs given up by the Bad Boys. Actually, that's kind of near the bottom of the league, I guess. The Purple Rain to give up 19, but just 5 and 4 home runs given up respectively. So something's going to have to come to a head, because while they have not given up many home runs pitch-wise, the Purple Rain come into this one #1 in the league in home runs, and Buffalo tied for 3rd. So these two teams like to go yard. We'll see if Skenes and Wheeler can keep it in the yard. We got the Mike Lowery Memorial Field back here behind us in Buffalo, New York, as we get this one started, and it will be George Springer leading off for the Purple Rain in this one. Springer batting .222 on the season coming into today. I got my microphone and situation fixed up here. PB4 goes to Skenes, and he'll strike out Springer looking. I'm going to bring up Ketel Marte, batting .316 on the year. Skenes will get Marte to pop up to 3rd. 2 down for Ken Griffey Jr., batting .368. And Skenes will get Griffey to ground out to 1st, air 2 to 10. And Pete Alonso is an air 2. So that will be an error. Error 1, so Griffey will just be safe at 1st. And that is the 2nd error of the season on the Bad Boys. And Griffey gets on base there for Cal Raleigh. 1 on, 2 down. Skenes will get Raleigh to ground out to 2nd base. So yeah, both these teams in the East, so my brother controlling both of them while controlling the scoreboard. A jack of all trades. That'll bring up Francisco Lindor to lead off against Zack Wheeler. Lindor batting .286 on the year. Wheeler deals, and that's an infield single for Lindor. Just beating it out to the bag.
He'll steal. Why not?
He's going to go for 2nd. Why not? Can't get a jump. PBCD on the next card for Alonso.
You know it.
And 9 still going to be on Alonso's card. And 36 is going to be a strikeout.
Sorry, Pete.
Bring up George Brett. He's batting .429 on the year. Wheeler. Strikeout Brett. 2 down, 1 on for Nick Kurtz. Nick batting .476 on the year, and Kurtz will strike out. So 3 straight strikeouts for Zack Wheeler after Lindor gets the infield single to get us through 1. Top of 2 we go, where A-Rod will lead off, batting .313 on the year against Paul Skenes. PBCD for A-Rod, and he'll strike out. That'll bring up Andy Pajes, batting .111. Skenes will throw a pass ball back to Skenes, and he'll strike him out. Back-to-back Ks for Skenes. Can't spell Skenes without a K. Then we got Kenny Lofton. As he's batting .273 on the year. No, it'll bring up Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as he's batting .200. PBCD for Vlade, and he'll hit a double. So a 2-out hit for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will bring up Otto Lopez with 1 on, 2 down. And PBCD for Lopes, and he'll strike out. So Skenes strikes out the side to get through 2. Bottom of 2 we go. Where it'll be the aforementioned Kenny Lofton leading off. And Lofton will strike out. Wow. 4th strikeout for Wheeler, and that's an impressive one. Will Smith batting .286. Wheeler will get Smith to fly out to center. Bring up Riley Green with 2 down. Wheeler will get Green to fly out to right. 3 up, 3 down for the Bad Boys. As we're through 2, top of 3 we go. Let's take a look at the Week 7 XLB schedule. Lots of good games on the docket this week. Has some teams. There's really you got the lower teams facing each other, a couple middle teams facing each other, and then first and second place in both divisions facing each other. So it's kind of weird how the schedule works out sometimes. And this one's just a matchup of 2 teams in the East trying to make their way up.
Operation Week.
That's what we're going to call it. I'm going to make a little graphic for it. I'll bring up Brian Reynolds for the Purple Rain. He batting .250. Brian Reynolds had a big Season 1 in the XLB. Actually voted on the All XLB first team. I was taking a look at those awards and accolades the other night. Brian Reynolds, a big-time player in Season 1. He's batting .250 right now. PBZ, 25. Pitcher develops a blister and must be taken out at once.
What is the deal?
Very
What's
weird.
the deal?
Very weird week, Jerry.
Top of the 3rd. Guess bring in Carmen Lazowski.
Who?
I'm on the wrong team. My bad. My apologies. You guys bring in At Your Leisure, Jordan.
Jordan Leisure from the Chicago White Sox. So a White Sox sighting. Brian Reynolds.
He's got a few starts. He's got a few starts in him.
Set to lead off. And Reynolds. We'll go right at him, and Reynolds will hit that one up and over the wall. So Leisure comes in, and Reynolds immediately takes advantage with the home run to lead off the top of 3. And you just cannot keep this Purple Rain team in the park. You just can't. I think you gave the run to the Bad Boys on the scoreboard. But that was Brian Reynolds for the Purple Rain that hit that.
I'm all discombobulated.
You're discombobulated after the Blistergate from Paul Skenes. A lot of pitcher issues the last couple weeks here in the XLB. Brian Reynolds from the 9 hole, though. He goes deep for the second time this season. And I know you're all waiting for that Purple Rain home run banner to come through here.
Don't have it.
Freeze, Deadpool. That'll bring up George Springer. Nobody on, nobody down. Jordan Leisure. And Leisure will strike out Reynolds. Or Springer, excuse me. Bring it Ketel Marte. Oh, everybody's discombobulated. Marte. He's out of there as he'll ground out to third. 2 down for Ken Griffey. Leisure will get Griffey to ground out to short. So the leadoff home run by Reynolds puts the Purple Rain up by 1. Bottom of 3 will go, and Sal Frelick to lead off against Zack Wheeler. And Frelick comes into today batting .211. Wheeler will get him to ground out to first. One up, one down, Jackson Holiday. Wheeler will strike him out. But Wheeler has been good. 5 strikeouts. Top of the lineup, Francisco Lindor has the only hit for the Bad Boys. And he'll have the second hit for the Bad Boys as he strokes that one into right.
Yes, steal.
Lindor
So good at this.
takes off for second, 35. He's in there.
Sorry, Pete. I may have messed you up again.
Third stolen base of the year for Lindor, Pete Alonso. Wheeler will strike him out. Would have been a strikeout either way.
Yeah, but that other one would have hurt a lot worse.
Oh, yes. 6 strikeouts through 3 for Wheeler. Top of 4 we go. Purple Rain back at the plate with a 1-point lead. 1-run lead. Big Dumper set to lead off against Leisure. He batting .250 on the year. Leisure will strike him out. That is something Cal Raleigh does quite often. A-Rod. Leisure will strike out A-Rod. Don't remember A-Rod doing that often. Andy Pages. Leisure will get Pages to ground out to third. 3 up, 3 down for the Purple Rain. Bottom of 4 will go. And it'll be the heart of the lineup, George Brett taking on Zack Wheeler. And Brett will take a walk. First walk of the day issued by Zack Wheeler. And Brett will take first. Now bring up Nick Kurtz. 1 on, nobody down against Wheeler. And Kurtz will take that one high and deep, and he will hit a 2-run homer.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do?
So the walk cost Wheeler as Kurtz, who has had an MVP caliber season, takes that 1 yard, drives in 2, and that puts the Bad Boys in front with Kenny Lofton at the plate. And Lofton is out of there after the nasty no-doubter from Big Amish. Grounds out to first. Big Amish. We'll bring up Will Smith with 1 down here in the 4th. And Wheeler will get Will to fly out to right. 2 down for Riley Green. And Wheeler will get Green to pop up to first. But the walk and the home run from Kurtz put the Bad Boys in front. And we'll head to the top of 5 now, where Jordan Leisure takes back over, and he'll have Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to deal with. And Vladdy will strike out. 4th strikeout for Leisure. Otto Lopez. He'll take that one high and deep, and Lopez from the 8th-hole slot will go deep off Leisure. 2nd home run given up by Leisure after coming in for Skenes. And this one is tied back up as the Purple Rain go yard here in the top of the 5th. And people at home salivating for the Purple Rain to have a Sloan Construction Grand Slam inning. Rocked into the seats by Lopez, his first of the year. Nobody on, 1 down for Brian Reynolds. And Leisure will strike out Reynolds for the 2nd out. 5th strikeout for Leisure brings up George Springer. And Leisure will throw a wild pitch, and now Springer will strike out looking. 6th strikeout, but the solo shot from Otto Lopez ties this one up at 2. Both teams 3 hits and 2 runs. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, where Wheeler will take on Sal Frelick. And Wheeler will strike out Frelick. Wheeler dealing today. 7th strikeout for him. Jackson Holiday. Wheeler will get Holiday to ground out to short. That's 2 down and back to the top of the lineup where Francisco Lindor waits. And Wheeler will put Lindor on for the 3rd time today.
He's stealing.
All 3 off of Wheeler's cards. 4th hit for the Bad Boys, and Lindor takes off for 2nd. 74 can't get a jump. That'll bring up Pete Alonso. And Wheeler will get Alonso to pop up to 2nd. So Lindor kind of looking at Alonso like, I'm giving you some opportunities here. Can't take advantage of them. Let's take a look at some players who have been playing really hot lately. Hot streaks going on here in the XLB. Include Larry Walker, who has been absolutely raking it lately. Darryl Strawberry. Jazz Chisholm from the Rattlers playing well. And Albert Bell from the Bees, who's off this week. Bell was just on the slow start graphic a couple weeks ago and now finds himself on the hot streak graphic a couple weeks later. Top of 6, Leisure will take on Ketel Marte, heart of the lineup for the Purple Rain here. And Leisure's just thinking about trying to survive this. Leisure will get Ketel to fly out to left. 1 down. Will they bring up Ken Griffey Jr. And Leisure will get Griffey to ground out to 2nd. Error 4 to 10. Holiday is an error 2. That'll bring up Cal Raleigh with 2 down. And Raleigh. He'll take that one high and deep, and Cal Raleigh has put the Purple Rain back in front with the solo shot. 3 solo shots from the Purple Rain today. And we talked about in the pregame who could keep it in the park. And both teams have home runs, but it's the 3 solo shots from the Purple Rain that have put them out in front. Dearly beloved, it is gone by the big dumper. That'll bring up A-Rod. And Leisure will strike out A-Rod to end the inning. But the Purple Rain put 1 more on the board as Leisure gets his 7th strikeout. George Brett set to lead off the bottom of 6 against Zack Wheeler. And Wheeler will strike out Brett to get things started. 8th strikeout for Zack Wheeler. Bring up Nick Kurtz. Wheeler will strike out Kurtz. 9th strikeout. Kenny Lofton. Wheeler will strike him out. 3 up, 3 down. Not much the Bad Boys can do there. Wheeler's got 10 strikeouts through 6. Score stays 3-2. Top of 7. Andy Paje set to lead off. Leisure going to stay out there.
Yeah, Just for, yeah, until something happens.
Pajes is out of there as he grounds out to short. One down here in the 7th. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. And he'll be struck out. Leisure has come in relief and struck out 8 so far. They bring up Otto Lopez. And Lopez will be out as he grounds out to second. So Leisure gets through the 7th. Bottom of 7 we go. A 3-2 lead for the Purple Rain. Will Smith at the plate. Wheeler deals. Will Smith. He will hit a leadoff single into center. Fifth hit of the day for the Bad Boys. Let's see what they can do with it. Riley Green at the plate. Wheeler will get Green to ground out to second, and that's a double play. They'll bring up Sal Frelick. And Wheeler will strike out Frelick to end the 7th. 11th strikeout for Wheeler. And the top of 8 will go. 1-run lead for the Purple Rain.
Timeout. Bring in Ryan Walker.
Ryan Walker will check in. And he'll take on Brian Reynolds to lead off the bottom of 8. Or top of 8. And 12. Mike, I didn't know those existed. PB 12. And Reynolds is out of there as he will ground out to the catcher. Chopped it. Ring of George Springer. Nobody on. 1 down. And Walker will get Springer to pop up to first. 2 down for Ketel Marte. And Marte is out of there as he'll ground out to short. 3 up, 3 down for the Purple Rain. Nice job by Walker coming in and getting those outs. We head to the bottom of 8 where Jackson Holiday will lead off.
Timeout. Timeout.
Watching this manager work against himself in this high-pressure situation. Neither one of these teams can afford a loss here.
Rizel Iglesias.
Rizel Iglesias will check in, and he will deal with Jackson Holiday to lead off. And Iglesias will get Holiday to fly out to deep right. And that's George Springer making the save over there. Francisco Lindor at the plate. And Iglesias will get Lindor to fly out to left. They'll bring up Pete Alonso. And Rizel will give up a single into center to Pete Alonso. 1 on, 2 down for George Brett. And Rizel Iglesias will strike out George Brett looking. That'll take us to the top of the 9th. 1-run game as the Purple Rain look to add to it. Ryan Walker on the mound against King Griffey Jr. And Griffey is out of there as he'll fly out to left. Trying to go the other way with it. They'll bring up Cal Raleigh with 1 down. And Walker will give up a single into right to Raleigh. Not even possible on his card. But he gets the single. They'll bring up A-Rod, 1 on, 1 down. Walker will give up the single into left to A-Rod. And now Walker tries to deal out of this jam against Pajes. And Walker will give up the infield single to Pajes. So back-to-back-to-back singles. All off of the pitcher's card. And now Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the plate.
Bring in Mike Vassell.
Mike Vassell from the White Sox in to try and deal with Vlad Jr. Infield at double play depth with 1 down. And Vassell will get Vlad to pop up to second. 2 down for Otto Lopez. PBBD for Lopez, and he'll strike out. So Vassell comes in, shuts it down, and keeps them within reach as Buffalo tries to tie it up or win this one in the bottom of 9.
Oh boy. More John.
And Adrian Morejon will check in. Morejon with a 22.5 ERA on the season.
Oof.
We'll see what he can do with the middle of this bad boys lineup here in the bottom of the 9th. Nick Kurtz. Morejon. We'll get Kurtz to line out to first. 1 down. Kenny Lofton. Morejon. We'll get Lofton to ground out to short. 2 down for Will Smith. And Morejon will strike out Will Smith to end the game. And that'll do it. Adrian Morejon will get the save. And that win will go to Zack Wheeler. As the loss going to be hung on Jordan Leisure, but certainly not a predicament he found himself or he thought he would be in today. The injury to Skenes early on with the blister changed up the pace of this game for sure. High-speed homer from Big Dumper winds up netting him the MVP of this one. 3 solo shots for the Purple Rain power them to victory. They move to 4-3 on the year. Buffalo now fallen to 3-4 as the East tries to shake out a bit. We'll see how it plays into next week. We got one more game coming up this week. Tune in for that one. And then we'll get set for Week 8. More Week 7 action rolling along for you.